Just seeing this comment from Chioma, okay, AM Chioma, who says, I'm not sure if it missed out a word. It says there are checkpoints throughout the region to the extent that a journey of 30 minutes will now take you 3 hours. And she's trying to say if there are checkpoints, a journey of 30 minutes, that there are checkpoints.
In the states where you have state of emergency, you have a lot of checkpoints. If you go to Plateau, there are a lot of checkpoints. I'm not talking about there. I'm talking about between Lagos, between Port Harcourt, between Delta. I'm talking about between the south and the north, between the northeast and the northwest. There should be strategic checkpoints, real checkpoints where you check all movement of bulk goods.
You know, when you started, you talked about the ports.
Yes. That's one.
Yeah, that's one. But the bulk of these containers, for instance, come out of the ports.
Yes.
And the customs do their checks.
I don't believe they are doing a thorough job. I don't believe they are doing a thorough job. I can bet you that they are not doing a thorough job. The customs, I believe, are not doing a thorough job. I bet you they are not. The amount of arms Boko Haram has cannot come through the northern borders. No. It's coming through the south, through the sea, in containers. I bet you.
That's
let them start opening up all the containers and checking them.
That's speculation.
Listen, no, there has to be subjective speculation. When these people have armored personnel carriers, when these people have rocket grenade launchers, when they have the kind of guns that even the Nigerian army respects, and the Nigerian army have been at 3 wars in the last 10 years. We're in Liberia, we're in Senegal, we're in Mali recently. We were in Somalia. So we're a very experienced army. For Boko Haram to have the kind of weapons they have to challenge, to attack a barrack, a Nigerian army barrack, those weapons cannot come through the ports. And they cannot come by cargo planes.
And you're sure that some of these
through the desert, no.
You're sure that some of these armored personnel carriers are not stolen from some of the barracks and police stations they've had to attack?
Now, if that's happened, then the police should tell us. They should say so. But I believe for armored personnel carriers they have, it cannot be more than maybe 10 or what. I don't know where they got those from. But that's not the bulk of their weaponry. They are equipped, these people. They are equipped. Then there's also the story that helicopters are servicing the Zambiza forest. How did an helicopter get there? How come we cannot get, when that helicopter takes off from the Zambiza forest and is going, cannot be tracked to wherever it's landing, wherever it's fueling from? There is the report in Wukari in Taraba State now that helicopters are dropping packages in the forest somewhere in Wukari. These things are not things that happen in the dark. That's why I'm telling you that, look, we're a big country with a lot of nationalities, and we must reach out to people. The leaders must reach out. There must be sincerity. We have to reach out to leaders to make them see that, are we Nigerians or what are we? Do you understand me? Mm-hmm. Now, as long as people feel sympathetic to the insurgents and feel that maybe their interest is served, you can't kill this. We must find a way. Someone like the Sultan of Sokoto, this is a very influential traditional ruler. Someone like the Shehu of Borno, these are very influential people. We need to reach out to people like this. These people need to come out effectively to their people, because in the villages, you have people, they will give traditional titles, like why in Lagos you have people like Bales, you have people like Sarikin Yaki in small villages across the north.
Are you also glossing over internal agencies that we have here, like yes, we're talking about the customs, what about immigration? So if those areas were to tighten and set up, maybe do much more than they're doing now, not that they're not doing anything, but do more than they're doing now, wouldn't you see some results as well?
In fact, of all the agencies that I feel has disappointed me, it's the police force.
Why?
The Nigerian army personnel in peacetime, I don't think it's up to 80,000 personnel, or maybe 100. The Nigerian police is almost 700,000 personnel strong. These are capable men and women. They have police posts in every ward, even in Borno, in Bama, in all of those places. The fact that insurgents sack a police station, does that mean the police should abandon that station? Rather, what I would expect in a time like, and you see, Investigation is the work of the police. The army are learning investigation. It's
Well,
not their
we
job.
put the same question to the minister. Look, what is the police doing? What are they bringing to the table? And he says they're doing the best that they can.
No, they are not. They are not. Look at the Boston bombing. Look at the Boston. It was investigative work that got those people, got even the shots where they bought their bombs and all of that.
Well, Mr. Mok, I think what we should be talking about now is almost what Mr. Mako has said, has emphasized unity, togetherness, how we can actually move ahead. One cannot say that the Sultan or those other traditional rulers haven't actually gone out. So when we say, well, they should be involved, we have seen them on live television and over time, to the extent that even an attempt was made on the life of the Emir of Kano. So I think what Mr. Mako said, this is a never before experienced kind of war in Nigeria. So how we can move ahead is what we should be thinking of, and not try to make it look as if some individuals or institutions haven't actually done what they should have done.
I think to follow that line is to trivialize the problem. To follow that line that people are trying, we are trivializing the problem. We have a war, and not a real war. We have a guerrilla war at our hands, insurgency, as if we have enemies that have infiltrated our country and are causing major havoc.
And insurgency that is actually, that is in no respect of persons, who has spoken up, most of them have been killed, and they're still speaking. So when we come on television and we'll say, the emir or the sultan haven't spoken, when we know...
No, I didn't say they have. No, I said they should do more. That's what I said. There are instruments they have. I just mentioned the fact that they have traditional institutions, like you have the Serikin say, of a community in Bama. The Serikin has officers in Bama. Then in every of those communities, you have mosque. You have the imam of the mosque. Do you understand? And the imam has influence in the community. These people are hiding within us. If the Sultan, who is the head of the Muslims in Nigeria, can call the Ummah, there is a meeting they are having. If it's been on television, sometime this week, maybe on Saturday, they are launching a book on the best way to fast as a Muslim. Everybody's been invited. Babangida, the Sultan, the Shehu, everybody. I look at that not just as a book, as a meeting to launch the book, but more or less as a meeting to come together. If at that meeting, they can convince those people gathering, if they can convince those people to the fact that Islam does not hate education, to the fact that the killing of innocent people cannot possibly serve the interest of God or Islam. If those people can be convinced and they take this to the root, and people change their mind and do not see it like Oguche said, that the enemies of Allah should be maimed or killed. If they see that these people are not enemies of Allah, these are human beings, these are the children of Allah, and that gets to the grassroots, people would, first of all, isolate themselves. And small by small, police will begin to get more information. That's on the citizenry side. Now, on the police side, the police are in charge of detention and investigation. They have more than 3,000 or 2,000 members of Boko Haram under detention. Those people were paid salaries. The government of Chad said it was Nigerians that came and paid them to recruit people. Now, there were Nigerians that were coming to recruit some of these unemployed people, giving them good money to come across. Now, they're having a problem with them. These people were paid money. If the police will investigate those already in detention, follow them to seek out their sources. Who paid you salary? Simple, no other person. Just get to know the next person. From that next person, who paid you the money you paid salaries with? We will get to the root of where this money that is funding Boko Haram is coming.
Let me take you back to the arms. You talked about the ports.
Yes.
Remember the time that some of those arms were found at the seaport? It was all over the place.
Yes.
Including the ones that the Russians were also caught.
Yes.
They took them to court, and the court discharged them.
So
what more can security agencies do, or immigration or customs do, other than take them to court? So are we also raising questions about the courts in terms of how do these things happen?
Twice I've had two judges angry that police would arrest and the investigation will not be thorough. The investigation will be so poorly done that the court will have no choice than to dismiss or acquit the person. You cannot conclude a thorough investigation. Arms came into the country, there was no permit for the arms, and the person is acquitted. Why would that happen?
Don't forget that they also cited, I think it was a certain decree or law that was an act of 1880 something that was still being operated to that extent, and lots of people were shocked. So it's a big challenge.
These are you see, you are in the media. The police forces, the state security, the national security, all of them, they are in the security forces. If there are laws that impede their job, they are the ones that are supposed to bring those laws to the notice of the Speaker of the House and to the Senate President. It's their responsibility. If there are laws that impede their ability to work, take like the EFCC has complained so much that the delay in the judicial process helps criminals. And so you arrest, I mean, you build up a case against, say, a governor for so much. You bring him to court, the case is in court, till even your term expires. And they were asking for special courts. Now, these things have not been done, but those are some of the things that even we, the people, are supposed to fight for. Because if there are laws that are obsolete, those laws should be reviewed. And I've made so many comments along those lines before now.
All right, we will also need to subsequently, in the days ahead, to look more on the judiciary, the laws of this country. Are they adequate? And the ones there are, how are we handling all of those things? So those are some of the recommendations that we will, in the days ahead, consider. But I want to thank you for coming on today,
Thank you very
Mr.
much.
Emmanuel Mok.